Should he stay or should he go? Yes, people, welcome in to another stream. And we've been promising you we was going to have this conversation for quite some time, a couple of weeks probably. It's been a long time. And we are now going to have that conversation. Really important for you guys to give us your thoughts on this one, because, of course, we want to try and get like a broad understanding of where City fans are at right now. We do currently have a poll running in the chat as well. So make sure you get your votes in. Let us know. Joao Cancelo, should we keep him or should we sell him? Make sure you guys smash a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel as well if you want to help support the channel grow. Link is in the description and pinned comment to become a YouTube channel member. Yeah, Cancelo, I mean, it was a bit of an up and down career at Manchester City. I remember when he come in, obviously for the Danilo, and there was issues straight away at Manchester City. Didn't really get on with Pep Guardiola, and then sort of got over that. And then really kicked on and started playing really good stuff. Attacking was really, really good. However, there was always that thing in the back of my mind of that, regardless of how good he was going forward, he always had a big mistake in him defensively, which was a little bit of a shame. However, if he was performing well going forward, you couldn't really excuse it. You can't excuse the shocking mistakes that he made defensively, but it sort of made up for it a little bit to a point where he's done it again. He's made him another mistake, but he'll do an assist or score a goal or something at the other end. Then clearly something happened on the training ground. There was a bust up between Pep Guardiola and Cancelo. They both played it down, but as I said in previous streams, there's absolutely no way that the guy's just cast out and loaned to Bayern Munich if nothing's happened. So I don't believe anyone that tells me that there was nothing that happened on the training pitch. And now he's come back, and now we're in a position of what do? You've got to make a call. Where are you? Where's your where you at with this one, bro? Cancelo, great player on his day, great going forward, defensive mistakes, had a bust up with Pep. Is there any way back for Cancelo at City in your mind?
It's a polarizing one. It's definitely polarizing. I've seen people talking about it on Twitter. There's a lot of people who are just like, hell nah, hell to the nah, he ain't playing for City again. Get rid of him and get rid of him ASAP. But then there's some people who are like remontada, because it's very easy to mask your judgments of what he could possibly do for us on the pitch because of that bust up, personal things, personal reasons, because if you actually remember when he's at his best, Cancelo, he's a terrific footballer. He really is.
One of the
I
best
get
fullbacks in the world, bro.
he was a right back that we turned into a left back, and he became arguably the best left full back in the world for a period in time. He was,
Yeah. Yeah.
going forward anyway. There was no stopping him. He was unbelievable. But the thing is with Pep, he obviously, and we know and we appreciate the fact that it's his dressing room, and he needs to assert his dominance. He needs to stamp his authority, and he can't allow anybody to undermine him. And it obviously wasn't the first time Cancelo had done this, because you spoke about there when he first came in, him and Pep didn't see eye to eye, so there would have been a dodgy relationship from the beginning. So I don't know. I mean, I was talking about this with Jordan on a stream recently, and I was like, if we lose Kyle Walker, which there's every likelihood we do it right now, the club are going to probably have to get in someone to have a fullback, and we already have one in Cancelo. And I was saying, if Cancelo comes back to that dressing room, and he has done, and he sees everybody sitting there having won a treble, literally everybody, but Mateo Kovacic has won a treble that he could have been a part of, he might go, oh, fuck, I made a mistake, man. And what if he just says, listen, I'm sorry, I apologize. I fucked up. I made a mistake. I behaved badly. Apologize to Pep. Is there a potential remontada on the cards there? I don't know, man.
What you've just said there, I don't know if you've seen it, but when I did the Big Steve show with Steve yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. We spoke about Cancelo a little bit. Not too much, not as much as we will in this stream, but we spoke about him a little bit. And he raised the point that he might come back. As you said, everyone at this club now has won a treble, obviously, by any new signings. So he's going to be gutted. Obviously, he went to Bayern Munich. They won the league, luckily, because Dortmund fucked it up. And, they got battered in the Champions League and got knocked out. Is he going to come back, and be really apologetic? Has he had a realization that the club don't need Cancelo? That's proved, evident. We've just won the treble without him. And he could have been a part of that. And it was his own moany situation and his own moaning personality which stopped him from being a Manchester City treble winner, stopped him from winning a three-peat, stopped him from beating United in the FA Cup semi-final, the first one ever, stopped him from winning our first ever Champions League and completing that treble. It was his fault. Now, sometimes in life, Bray, things happen and you realize, you go, oh, shit, you know what I mean? I made a mistake here. I'm gonna, apologize or whatever, come back in and try and get back on the right side of people. It's not always easy to do straight away. Sometimes it takes time, but there are also times where whatever you've done, people just can't be arsed with it anymore. You know what I mean? And if he comes back to Pep now and he's like, listen, I made a massive mistake here. Last year I was fuming because I wasn't in the team, I wasn't playing or whatever. Something happened on the training pitch. What I did was unacceptable. It was wrong. It undermined your position as a manager. I looked like a dick, and I ended up going to Bayern Munich. And whilst there, and since the season ended, I have now realised that it was a massive mistake, and I should have stayed at City. And what I've done is wrong. I'm now prepared to do whatever you say as a coach. If you want to put me on the bench, I'm on the bench. I won't sulk about it. I won't moan about it. Pep's got to make a decision of A, has what he done in the past, can you come back from whatever he's done? Because of course we don't know. 2, is the apology sincere? And 3, is what Cancelo's saying of, oh yeah, I will be different, is that actually true? Do you believe that this guy has the personality to change? And I said this on Big Steve yesterday. If Cancelo stays, Pep Guardiola, the question that you got to ask here is, if Cancelo was on the bench for 4 games in a row, is he going to be moaning? Will he turn up at training the next day with a smile on his face, supporting his teammates, getting behind the players, getting behind the manager, even if he's not playing, like some players in this team have done, and not sulk? If the answer to that is no, you don't think he's going to do that, then the answer to the question, should Manchester sell Cancelo, is yeah, because you've got to have players who can be part of the squad. Not every player here is going to be playing week in, week out.
Yeah, I agree. And it's one of those ones. I don't think it's something he can't come back from. He didn't kill anybody. And
well, of course, we don't know what he did at training, though, bro. We don't know what happened, innit? I mean, there was rumours that he literally threw a ball at Pep Guardiola's face
No, we know he lashed out and we behaved badly. That's what we know. Yeah, he behaved badly. Yada yada
Yeah,
yada. But you don't know, and I think it's fair to cover the bases and say you don't know what's going on in his life at the time. You don't know what's bothering him. Is there something
fair.
triggering him to behave that way?
Mhm.
I'm not saying something was, or he genuinely was just being a bollocks, but you don't know what's going through his head and what's going through his life at that time. And maybe he took that into the workplace, and he shouldn't have done that. And if he apologizes for that, Pep will understand. You know what I mean? It's not just as
Mhm.
black and white as what we read on Twitter. So I want to cover that basis. But you got Tesco in the chat there. Big up Tesco, my former employer. He says we don't. He wouldn't even fit our system. You know, Pep trying to do away with fullbacks now and just play with four center halves. But
Yeah.
you know, there will be games. There will be games where you would be glad to have someone like Cancelo to come off the bench or even start. It's not just as plain and simple as Pep Guardiola wants four center halves. Ideally, that's what he would like. But we know how many games we play. We know how Pep likes to change things up week in, week out. So he might be glad of a Cancelo. But if we were to keep Cancelo, I wouldn't want him anywhere near that left-hand side again because him playing
No.
there was detrimental to Jack Grealish. Once Cancelo left,
True.
it
True.
was like shackles were taken off Jack Grealish because Cancelo was getting in his angles, getting in his spaces, trying to do what Grealish was doing.
Yeah.
So I think there is a role for Cancelo, but we just don't know if there's a remontada on the cards, if he's able to come back from it, if he's apologetic,
Mm.
that kind of thing. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I want to show you these quotes. Pep Guardiola has been speaking about the game tomorrow. We will be doing a live watch along, by the way, for the game tomorrow. Make sure you join us. That we're going live at 10 o'clock UK time. So make sure you join us. It's going to be a good one. First game back. Do not miss it. Pep Guardiola, and we'll be doing a preview later on tonight as well. Cancelo is. This is what Pep Guardiola said in his press conference. Cancelo is here. Joao has been. Oh, Joao. Is it Joao? Yeah, Joao. Joao has been so important for us in the past. After the loan at Bayern, he's back here and he's part of the group. Like I said to your colleagues, we will see what happens. So he's not really going, he's staying, he's not saying he's leaving, he's sort of leaving it open to interpretation and to whatever you think. This is his record when he was at Bayern Munich, of course, loaned out for the second half of the season. Played 21 matches for Bayern Munich, 1 goal, 6 assists. Played 1,300 minutes. Obviously, Bayern Munich don't want to activate that stupid buy clause that was in there that I said straight away was just completely pointless. And obviously, they don't want him. So, is that another? I don't want to dig it out, but I want to have an honest conversation here, a proper honest conversation. And it's not digging the guy out, it's just honest. Is that a concern as well that he's gone to Bayern Munich and Bayern Munich are like, nah, we don't want him?
Well, I said this on another show the other day. I don't know what channel I was on, but I said that it's a bad look for Cancelo that Bayern Munich are actually trying to get our 33-year-old fullback, his direct competition.
Yeah,
That's
not him.
for
Yeah.
they're trying to get our 33-year-old fullback instead of keeping the younger fullback who they've just had for 6 months. Now, obviously, you factor in the price. I think it was like 70 million. I think was the price, wasn't it? That they were saying.
Yeah, 70 million. Yeah.
Yeah, Bayern Munich are they're a bit tighter with their cash than that. You know, they may not feel he's worth 70 million, so you don't know. But it's not a good look. It's not a good look that they really have no interest in keeping him. So yeah, I guess you're right.
Mm. Big up to Ricky says there's no way we keep him now. He clearly has an attitude problem, and our system has changed massively since his little AWOL stint. But yeah, I mean, 2 issues there: his attitude, which we all know about, and then the fact, yeah, the system has changed. Would he even play? That's a problem that we've got. Is that, of course, there were times last year that he might not have played or whatever. This year, how's he going to get in the team? I mean, he will play games, obviously, if we keep him. But the facts are, Pep wants to run this 3 at the back system or the 4 at the back with 4 defenders, like 4 actual centre backs. He ain't getting in the team. Now, people
Well,
have said right
that adds
wing,
to the
but
Bayern Munich thing as well, bro. That adds to the Bayern Munich thing because Thomas Tuchel's system is tailor made for a Cancelo. You know, Thomas Tuchel loves his wing backs when he was at Chelsea. He loved, Reece James. He plays with wing backs. They're his out and out kind of wide players. So you would have
yeah.
thought that's made for Cancelo. You know, that wing is yours as long as you can lock down your defensive duties as well. And even Tuchel's still saying, nah, not ours.
Yeah. Stallion says, I remember Tevez, he had a fallout with Mancini, then he apologised and he played a big part at the end of the 2012 season. But it all depends on Cancelo. Does he apologise to Pep or is his ego too big? Well, in my view, Stallion, I think that Pep would not have taken him on the pre-season tour if Cancelo didn't have like a word with him and sort of apologised for whatever. So I would imagine that Cancelo has already sort of apologised for whatever happened. We know something happened. Whatever happened, he's probably apologised. I just don't see Pep Guardiola taking him on pre-season tour if that didn't happen. The question now is, can that relationship be repaired to a point that Pep wants to keep Cancelo and Cancelo wants to stay? And on top of that, Pep, does he believe that Cancelo will not moan and cause issues? You know what I mean? Because the facts is that once he left, you know, and this doesn't, you know, you could say that this is a coincidence, and it might be a coincidence, but the facts are, when he left, the whole camp seemed happier. You know what I mean? We went on we went on a title charge. We went on an FA Cup run. We went into a Champions League final, and he wasn't there. So it might just be a pure coincidence, but the facts are the facts that he wasn't there. And Pep's got to think really carefully now about whether or not he brings him back in. The other issue that you do have, which we've not really spoken about too much here, is the title of the video is Keep or Sell. Are you actually going to be able to sell Cancelo? My personal opinion is, I don't think anyone's going to buy this guy, especially not for a decent price. So I think that the title of the video really should Manchester City's loan Cancelo? Because I think you're going to really struggle to sell him. Who's going to buy him? Who's going to buy him? Don't want him. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to go to anyone lesser in Germany than Bayern Munich. Barcelona can't afford him. I don't think Real Madrid will want him. You know what I mean? PSG could be an option. You know what I mean? They're not really that asked about personalities, but I do get I get the sense at PSG that they are starting to realise that that model that they've been following for the last 10 years or whatever doesn't properly work. You know what I mean? They've left Messi go. They let Messi go. Mbappe looks like he might be on the way out. So I feel like they're now realising that they need to build a team. So will they want him? Will he go back to Italy? Potentially. Who's going to buy him? Who's going to sign him? I mean, with the rumours that Juventus wanted Laporte, and they thought that 30 million euros was too much for Laporte. That's about 23 million pounds for Laporte. And they said it was too expensive. So you've got to look at this and think it's all well and good saying, oh, we should sell Cancelo. But who's going to buy him? You know, there was also rumours coming out that 5 Saudi Arabian clubs were offered Cancelo this summer, and every single one of them rejected that opportunity. Every single one, even with the pull of Ronaldo. And you would have thought that if he wanted to go to Saudi, Cancelo would have been on the phone to Ronaldo, and Ronaldo would have made it happen like that because he probably has a lot of power in that league, and no one wanted him. So I think we're in a really difficult situation, and it wouldn't surprise me if he ended up staying, not because maybe Pep don't want him to stay, because there's no one who actually wants him, and that says more about him, unfortunately.
Yeah, when he kind of shot himself in the foot by developing a bad boy name, didn't he? By developing a name for a bad attitude, because you make yourself really unattractive. You make yourself really unattractive because people aren't really willing to take your baggage, regardless of how good of a footballer you are, unless you are someone like Mbappe, who quite clearly Real Madrid know he's got a bit of a personality, but he's so good at football that they're willing to go and get him anyway. Cancelo's not in that bracket. He's a very, very good footballer, Cancelo, but they're not really willing to take his baggage. Nobody's really willing to take his baggage. I mean, even if Barca could afford him, you know, I'm sure Xavi would speak to Pep. Xavi looks up to Pep and would say, could I take this guy? And Pep would say, you know, he's not the easiest to work with. And that would turn Xavi off. And then I'm pretty sure his agent is Jorge Mendes, Cancelo, and he looks after a load of the Portuguese guys. Mendes, in my opinion, has some sort of a deal with Saudi Arabia because he's trying to shoehorn loads of his players to Saudi Arabia. You got Ronaldo there. You got Jota there from Celtic. And he's trying to get Bernardo there. Does he have Ruben Neves? He might have Ruben Neves. He's got loads of them. And he can't even get Cancelo to Saudi Arabia. So Europe doesn't, the European giants don't really want them or haven't showed interest. And the Saudi Arabian money beasts aren't willing to take him either. So it's sticky for him. I think he's kind of in a position now where he has to come back with apologies. He has to come back with apologies.
I agree. I think he will. I think he'll come back and listen, you know, he'd be watching that Champions League final against Inter Milan and thinking, I have fucked up here. Big time. You know what I mean? And so I think there's a real... I genuinely hope that he comes back. He's really apologetic to Pep. He says, listen, if you want me to leave because you don't trust me or whatever, I'll leave, whatever. But is there any chance of me staying here and fighting for my position and fighting for the team and that? Then I want to show you that. And, you know, sometimes, like I said, sometimes it takes something big to happen to realize that, you know what, I've been a prick. I need to sort this out. So, you know, my view. I'll give you my view at the end. Mohammed says keeping Cancelo this summer. Keeping Cancelo sums up this transfer window. So I guess you're not entirely happy about that, then, Mohammed. Make sure you guys smash a like on the stream as well if you are new. To sum up and give my opinion on this, right? Here's where I'm at, because you guys will probably want to know what we want, what we would do. In my opinion, if I was in charge of Manchester City, I would let Cancelo leave. Whether that be a sale or whether that be a loan, I wouldn't want to keep Cancelo at Manchester City. My opinion as a fan. Don't speak for every City fan, my opinion. However, as soon as that transfer window closes, if Cancelo is still a Manchester City player, as a fan, I will get behind him and I'll back him 100% unless he does something that changes that opinion of me and is another dick. So that's where I'm at. If it was me, I'd get rid of him. I don't think we need that energy around the club. I think defensively he's poor. However, if he stays at Manchester City, as soon as that transfer window closes, I think we should get behind him. And I think you should do that with every player. That's my view. I'd get rid of him. But if we can't get rid of him, get behind the player.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the exact same. I'd be looking to find him a move, but as we've just gone over, it's kind of difficult to find him a move because no one's really asked taking him. No one wants to take the baggage. But if the transfer window closes and essentially we're stuck with him, I'll get behind him. But I'd love to see something for the fans. A bit of clarity for the fans, like whether it's a statement from Cancelo or something, just to say, listen, I know we had a rocky season last year in terms of relationship, but I'm here to work. I want to work. I want to make up for mistakes. I just love something, where just to indicate that he's changed his tune or he's come back with apologies. That's all really. But yeah, I'll be looking for a move, but I don't know. As we say with Bernardo, to who, man? Who's going to take him?
Yeah. Also, the poll in the chat, bro. If you've seen this, Cancelo, keep or sell. The poll in the chat. You guys will come here to ask the audience for you guys to make the decision. And it's 50-50 exactly. There's 451 votes. In fact, Sell has just taken the lead with 51% of the votes, but 49% of people in the chat want to keep Cancelo. So it's very decisive. It splits opinion between the fan base. However, there's a slight majority, 51%, who would sell him, but it's very, very close, and
He's
not
a
an easy
terrific
one.
footballer, bro. He's a terrific footballer. Like like I keep saying, you can't let the breakdown in relationship mask how good of a footballer he is. You know what I mean? He's absolutely class when he's on form. So a lot of people will be saying that. A lot of people will be saying, he could have a role in the team. It just depends where his head's at.
Yeah. No, that's fair. It's back at 50-50 now, which is crazy. Italian says, looks like Walker is leaving. So are we still interested in Pavard because the right back links have cooled off? Well, I've been told in the last 24 hours that actually Kyle Walker is going to be staying at Manchester City. So we'll have to see whether that source was good or not. If he stays, we know that source is good, and for the future, I'll say it more with chest, but we'll have to wait and see. And hopefully he stays, but we have no idea.
I was reading the newspaper, the hard copy of the newspaper this morning. Back like they did in the old times, and it was an Irish paper, and there was an article written about the Kyle Walker situation, and apparently the move for Kyle Walker to Barca, according to this guy, is being messed up because of Bayern Munich. Because apparently at Bayern Munich they have this policy whereby players over 30, regardless of who you are, you will not be offered a contract of any more than 1 year. Yeah, they just do 1 year contracts, keep it going if you're over 30, simple as. And that's so all their big dog players over 30 right now are on 1 year rolling contracts. Yeah. However, they've offered Kyle Walker a 2+ 1 year contract to a 33-year-old. So a lot of the older boys at Bayern Munich are like, yo, what the hell? Where's the policy gone? It's one rule for Walker, one rule for us. And that's caused a bit of tension, apparently.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. I actually think that those rules are so outdated. You know what I mean? Like, players are playing a lot longer than they used to, man. And, like, clubs are still acting like as soon as you hit 30, you're finished. You know what I mean? Like, why are clubs still acting like that? You know what I mean? That's not the thing anymore. You know what I mean? You can play until you're 35, 36, 37. Like I say, with Kyle Walker, I'm pretty confident he will play until at least 38, barring any big injuries, because he's an athlete and he'll go to centre-back if he loses his pace. He'll just move to centre-back. So I think clubs really need to get with the times with those players who have now reached 30. We've seen it with Gundogan. Would Gundogan have stayed at Manchester City if we offered him a 2-year deal like in January, possibly, if you believe like some of the rumours that came out. You know what I mean? So it's possibly lost City Gundogan. And I just think clubs need to move on a little bit. You know, 30 is like the new 25. You know what I mean? So,
Are you
yeah.
trying to make yourself feel a bit better there or something, are you?
Well, I'm 30 in it, so no, I'll be saying that in a year or so. But yeah, I don't really agree with all that kind of. Oh, as soon as you hit 30, we only offer you a 1-year deal. It's like Arsenal done it all the time under Wenger, and it was just like,
yeah, it's dumb, man. It's dumb.
Weird. But there you go. Good conversation. Good chat. Big up to everyone in the chat that kept it nice. You know what I mean? You don't need to get nasty in that. You guys in the chat, thank you very much for your help with this decision. 50% of people said keep, 50% of people said sell. So I know in the future, if I have a decisive decision that I need help on, I will come to you guys and ask for your assistance because you help so much. Yeah, you're not really helped, guys. 50%. Big up K-Root has just become a new channel member. Welcome back as a channel member. I super appreciate the support there, bro. Link is in the description if anyone else wants to join. And yeah, we'll back later on. We got the preview: Yokohama versus Manchester City. Man City's first pre-season game is tomorrow. Starts at 11 o'clock UK time in the morning. We're going to go live around an hour before, so make sure you join us for that. Other than that, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I know the weather's dead here, but enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good weekend. I'll see you tomorrow for Manchester City's first game of the season. Let's go. See you later.